We're back at it. Happy Tuesday, the 29th day of March, 2022. I'm Dan Kuntz. Thanks for starting your day with us. Got some good stuff for you today. Beautiful morning. Going to be a beautiful day today. One more day of the really good stuff. It'll be nice tomorrow. It's going to be windy and cooler on Wednesday, but lots of sunshine. The temperatures are going to drop way down. By Thursday, there is a cold front. It's going to start creeping its way in overnight tonight. It's going to get those winds picked up a little bit, going to cool us down. But today is going to be just beautiful. Bountiful sunshine, upper 60s. We hit 68 yesterday. We'll be doing it again today. Forecast details are coming up. All in all, a very pleasant way to end March and welcome April, which is Friday. Passes, we're pretty much done with it. When we take you up to the pass cameras, you're going to notice, wow, there's a lot of snow melt up there, and that's what's supposed to be happening this time of the year. There is news, there's sports. Louisville Cardinals, the Lady Cardinals, are in the Final Four. Yeah, they did it. They beat Michigan. Pretty tight game all the way into the fourth quarter, and then Louisville kind of slowly pulled away. Haley Van Lith had a great game. We got highlights and post-game reaction. The Cougars are in the Big Apple, New York City, in the semifinals of the NIT. We'll talk about that with sports. And at the back half of the hour, speaking of sports, we were going to air this interview yesterday. We had some technical issues. We were lucky to get on the air yesterday, quite frankly. I wanted to replay the interview I did with Jeremy Anders, the general manager of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. In case you missed that last week, we got it for you again today because it's good stuff from Jeremy. It is 2 minutes after the hour. Clear skies, 43 degrees. I think we're going to have some spectacular footage this morning. Let's see what we got with our cameras around the valley. Once again, the cross camera begins our festivities. It is zoomed out. PTZ cameras, that's an acronym. You can pan them, you can tilt them, you can zoom them. And so we have it zoomed out a little bit to let in quite a bit of information on the frame. Sun's up. Got up at 6:45 this morning. It'll hang around till 7:27 tonight. 12 hours and 42 minutes of daylight. We're getting a lot of daylight. This is the time of the year where we get a lot more daylight almost on a daily basis. Yesterday's high, 68. Our overnight low was 46. Our normal high is 56. So we've now gone 7 days in a row with an afternoon high above normal. In fact, sometimes well above normal. We're going to do it again today. Going to do it again tomorrow, Wednesday, and then probably not on Thursday. Camera number 2. Where are we off to? We see the sun, and that's all I can make out between the lights in the studio. I have no idea what camera we're looking at. Number 1 Canyon camera, according to Uriah, and he would not lie to me. So somewhere down there is the Wenatchee Valley. You probably have a better view of it at home than I do here in the studio. It's kind of hard to make out what I'm looking at. But if it's the number 1 Canyon camera and it's looking right at the sun, I will trust Mr. Darby with that. Camera number 3. Well, that's a no-brainer. That's, I want to, well, I'm going to look here. I don't want to blow it. We're obviously looking at, I don't know, I want to say maybe Steins? Is that Stein Hill? That is Stein. It's pointed the other direction. Oh, okay. You did this to me the other day. That's the camera right at the very top of Stein Hill. So we flip it around 180 degrees. We're looking at Cashmere. We flip it that direction. You can see the entrance to Alala Canyon on the right. That's how you get up and into there. And you can see Peshastin and a little and Dryden and off to Leavenworth. And all the orchards, they're sprayed, they're sitting there, and they're ready for the warm temperatures and the irrigation. And they're getting both. And camera number 4. Billy Goat checks in, zoomed it in a little bit so we can see pretty much almost all of Pateris down there and the Methow River flowing into the Columbia at the very bottom of your screen. Good morning to Brewster. Bridgeport's around the corner. Can't quite make it out in those beautiful mountains up high in the Okanagan area. And all that snow is pretty much gone. I noticed yesterday I was driving around town running a few errands. There's still a couple of little patches of snow fairly close to the valley floor, but they're all on those north-facing slopes that don't get direct sunlight. But whatever snow is still there is going to be probably long gone in the next 24 hours with these very mild temperatures. The big story is going to be the winds tomorrow. Very windy tomorrow in the Wenatchee area, the Columbia Basin, out in the Palouse. We're going to see gusts pretty strong at times. The strongest wind, by the way, is going to be late Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night as that cold front slides through. The snow levels in the Cascades are going to drop down, but they're not going to get a lot of snow, probably really not at all. But there's a cold front coming in, so quite a bit of strong winds, especially out in the upper Columbia Basin. You folks are going to have quite a bit of wind as well, and obviously Waterville. They have a tendency to get windy conditions there this time of the year. It's very common and it's going to happen tomorrow, so get ready for that. But that's tomorrow. Today, beautiful. Sunshine, high of about 69, just a gorgeous day. Get out and enjoy. Take the day off, as a matter of fact. Tell them it was okay with me. The cold front begins to slide in later on tonight while you're sleeping. We're going to cloud up. We're going to get down to 42 degrees, and then we'll see some sunshine for the most part on Wednesday. But as you can see, we're only going to get to 61. And as the day progresses and this cold front works its way over the Cascades and to the Wenatchee Valley, the winds will be picking up in intensity. Calm in the morning, windy by noon, very windy by the afternoon, and downright gusty by Wednesday night about sunset. 36 for the overnight low. Told you it was a cold front. So look at the big difference in the temperature. We're only going to get to 56 degrees, which is about normal for this time of the year on Thursday because it's ushering in some cold air, and it's going to be hanging around a little bit. 34 for the overnight low. On Thursday night, then a gradual warming trend as a weak high pressure ridge reestablishes itself. 58 to 59 to 59 to 57. Very seasonal, very normal for this time of year. Of course, Friday is April 1st. So the big story is going to be the wind tomorrow, but today's just beautiful. I'm liking this. We're covering baseball this afternoon in East Wenatchee, and it's going to be a perfect day for that. All right, up to the mountain pass as we go. Your pass report brought to you by D.A. Davidson, the strength of a trusted partner and personalized solutions to meet your financial needs. Member SIPC. Nothing to worry about on Stevens. You're fine. No advisories, no restrictions. Roadway's pretty much bare and dry. Blewett, same deal. Bare and dry. The snow continues to melt at a pretty rapid pace up at the Cascades. I-90, you're fine too. It's the time of the year with the snow, as you can see. Pretty dirty, pretty grimy from the exhaust and all that other stuff. No advisories, no restrictions, no problems as this cold front comes in Wednesday. Late Wednesday afternoon, Stevens Pass could get a couple of inches of snow. It's not going to come down at a great clip. Probably not even going to stick to the roadway. So maybe an inch or two Wednesday afternoon on Stevens. Maybe an inch Wednesday night. That's really it. You're fine. Get up and go. You're good to go. No advisories, no restrictions. Happy motoring. 7 minutes after the hour, a 1 minute break, and then what made news on this Monday, and for that matter, Tuesday morning. We'll have it for you in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Dr. Wayne Latimer's Chiropractic and Integrative Multicare specializes in all level of injury care. If you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, have a sports injury, or a simple fall, call today for a free consultation. They offer a combined multi-care approach with medical, chiropractic, physical therapy, massage, and acupuncture. For relief from long-standing injuries to basic solutions for the weekend warrior, Latimer's Chiropractic Integrative Multicare is one stop, one location.
There are 3 key ingredients to a perfect BLT: hot lettuce, mustard, but what's most important, baseboard bacon. These baseboards get piping hot. It gets those bacon strips crackling.
Mr. No One Ever, did you know that you can actually get $1,000 cash back by converting your baseboard heater into a ductless heat pump? Saves money on heating for years to come. And with all that extra money,
More bacon?
more bacon.
Lots of sunshine, 43 degrees at 9 minutes after the hour. We'll be pushing 70 today, but lots of sunshine. We did have a few passing high clouds yesterday. Not going to be the case today. Cold front begins to roll in tonight. Quite breezy Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night, and a cooling trend heading our way. We start with this story. East Wenatchee police are looking for a man and a woman from the Priest River, Idaho area who reportedly stole several items from the AutoZone store on Grant Road on Sunday afternoon, and then attempted to run over an employee who was trying to stop them in the parking lot. Assistant Police Chief Eric Hampton said the suspects were in an 18-foot U-Haul truck, the woman suspect driving that truck. She allegedly stole items from the store, then attempted to hit an employee who confronted her. Police Chief Rick Johnson said the woman went outside to the U-Haul, attempted to hit the employee with the truck. As the pair fled, he said a store patron was also almost hit. Police initially responded to the robbery report at about 1:40 in the afternoon. Again, this was Sunday at the East Wenatchee AutoZone. Hampton said the U-Haul was located a short time later near Sportsman's Warehouse. At the Wenatchee Valley Mall, an officer attempted to make a traffic stop, but the driver of the truck fled the scene recklessly. The pursuit canceled over safety concerns. The U-Haul had an Arizona license plate, and Johnson said the company helped them identify the suspects. Hampton said the investigation is ongoing. The suspects face possible charges of theft and attempted assault. a physician, a hydrology expert, a substance abuse counselor, and a Latinx community organizer. All will join the Chelan-Douglas Board of Health. They are the 5 people selected unanimously by the Chelan and Douglas County Commissioners yesterday. The Health Board, which oversees the Chelan-Douglas Health District, is expanding from 8 members to 12 members, with the 5 new members representing the community at large. They are Wenatchee Cafe co-founder Alma Chacon, addiction recovery coach Joseph Hunter, Confluence Health endocrinologist Dr. Bindu Nayak, Columbia Valley Community Health Registered Nurse Marissa Smith, and hydrogeologist Bill Sullivan. Now, before applying to join the Board of Health, Sullivan attended one of the public meetings last October, and he provided misinformation about the COVID-19 pandemic. But county officials said Sullivan's statements were not disqualifying, and his application rose to the top because of his background in water quality studies. The new appointees will serve terms on the board varying from 18 months to 3 years. Quincy police have identified a suspect in the fatal shooting that happened last week of an 18-year-old man in Quincy, Carlos Diaz Guerrero Jr. of Quincy, shot to death. The Quincy Police Department said they are searching for 18-year-old Horacio Morales Perez. Perez is accused of firing a handgun from a moving vehicle about 11:40 in the evening last Wednesday near Ancient Lakes Elementary. He reportedly fired once, fatally striking Guerrero. Guerrero was taken by a friend to Quincy Valley Medical Center. He was pronounced dead. Perez is described as 5'9", 175 pounds. Any information on his whereabouts or information on the shooting, you're being asked to contact the Quincy Police Department. And finally, a man who assaulted 2 Wenatchee police officers 7 years ago cannot withdraw his guilty plea in that crime. Jake Van Wyck broke the wrist of one officer and shot another with her own taser when they confronted him for breaking into an abandoned house back in 2015. Earlier this year, Van Wyck asked to withdraw his plea or receive a new sentence, saying his 22-year prison sentence was improperly calculated. But on Thursday of last week, Chelan County Judge Travis Brandt said the length of the sentence appears correct and too much time had passed for Van Wyck to withdraw his plea. The issue might now be sent to the Court of Appeals. That's what's making news on this Tuesday morning. Cal and Jefferson and Grant and Mac and everybody. It's a team effort to put together the newscast for you at 5, 6, and 10. And with the preview, here's Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, as you have talked about, one more unseasonably warm day today before much cooler and windy weather move in tomorrow. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Granstrom will be in with the latest high school, college, and pro sports news. That and all the day's news stories coming your way tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope to see you then. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. Don't forget, you got a news tip, you want to drop us a note, look at the bottom of your screen right there. Facebook, just go to our Facebook page, drop us a note on the Messenger app. Email us directly, news@ncwlife.com, or if you go to our homepage, ncwlife.com, there's a Contact Us icon. Pretty straightforward. Haley Van Lith leading Louisville to the women's Final Four. Highlights in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a 4-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, late for a meeting.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom. We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We believe you can do whatever you set your mind to, and we'll help you get there. Washington Trust Bank, privately owned, locally invested.
Hi, I'm Katie Joslin and I'm a pediatrician at CVCH. We know that as new parents, you have a lot of decisions to make. At CVCH, we have a team of caring pediatricians and family medicine providers who love to take care of newborns. As you're making that decision of where you'd like to go, we hope that you'll consider coming to CVCH, where any of the providers you choose would care for your baby as if it was one of their own.
Quarter after the hour, Haley Van Lith, a sophomore from little old Cashmere, Washington, is becoming a national figure, and she led her Louisville Cardinals pretty much single-handedly to the NCAA Women's Basketball Final Four. She had 22 points last night. They knocked off Michigan 62-50. Haley Van Lith pretty much, well, she carried the team in many respects. Take a look.
Including in December, Louisville has won by at least 20 points. Haley Van Lith.
To seeing with her is that poise and that composure.
Very rarely as Van Lith hits it and then holds the hand up for a while. True freshman from Cincinnati on the all-freshman team in the Big Ten. Tremendous future ahead of her. Present not so bad either. Meanwhile, Van Lith smooth.
LaFilia getting downhill. She is a playmaker for this team.
Van Lith, terrific pass from Engsler. Robinson guarded out there by Williams. Shot clock. Skinny for Van Lith. Takes Dilt off the bounce.
So good, Pam. So good. I'll be an honor talking about what she can continue to do better.
And Michigan on a 7-0 run. All of them on free throws. Broken by Van Lith. Slicing in. Van Lith. Drew the contact from Nolan. Count it. Haley Van Lith. 70-48. They scored 15 points in the entire first half. Different story tonight. Low scoring, but Louisville depending on number 10. And this is why Emily Engsler came to Louisville. To have a chance to play for the national championship. The Cardinals are on their way to the Twin Cities.
Louisville forced 22 Michigan turnovers after the game. Haley Van Lith said the Cardinals take pride in their defense.
No matter what happens on the offensive end, if it's the worst shooting night of our lives, we can go down on the other end and play defense and get stops. And at the end of the day, if the other team scores less than you, you still win, no matter if it's 3-2 or 10-9 at the end of the game. But we just know defense is something we can always control, and we've bought into it this year. This team, we really came together, and we demonstrated that today.
She got a little emotional, too, when she was asked what's it like to play for head coach Jeff Walz.
He lets you play and have fun, and you know, when we're breaking in transition, he lets us try and create and be exciting, and he defends us when we talk crap and we get texts. Like, he always has our back, and he works. I think for me, you know, he works on the person you are off the court. I'm a stubborn one, and he's had to teach me to enjoy life outside of basketball, and. Yeah, I mean, he just, he cares about you off the court, and it's not just a business. And I think it's pretty obvious, like, the emotion that we play with and the emotion that he coaches with, that we'd run through a wall for every girl on this team. We'd run through a wall for him. And so I think that's what makes us dangerous in this Final Four, is that we'll do anything for each other.
If you're like me, you tuned in to watch the game in the first quarter for tip-off, and it wasn't on TV because the first game was a Donnybrook, UConn outlasting North Carolina State in double overtime, 91-87. So the tournament now moves to Minneapolis. The Final Four will be Friday. Louisville faces South Carolina at 4 o'clock on ESPN. UConn Stanford at 6:30. The national championship game Sunday at 5, again on ESPN. Washington State there in Midtown Manhattan. The NIT semifinals tonight at the world's most famous arena. Washington State, the second game on the slate. They'll take on Texas Agriculture and Mining at 6:30 on ESPN2. The game prior features St. Bonaventure and Xavier at 4 on ESPN. Coach Kyle Smith said the Cougars are happy to be in New York City, and they even got a little sightseeing in.
Just really excited to be a part of this tournament. From the beginning, and then have the opportunity to win 3 games and make our way to New York City, homecoming for about quite a few guys, staff and team. You know, we're trying to balance between getting ready for a game and trying to enjoy part of the New York City experience. So we've limited to, we had a rooftop dinner, kind of overlooking the city. It was pretty neat for our guys, and I felt safe as a coach. They weren't running around the streets. But got to see a little experience that. And then we got to go to the Brooklyn Nets game last night, which was cool. It was Kyrie's first game back, and we practiced.
Wazoo and Texas A&M, again, they tip off at 6:30 on ESPN2. Cactus League Baseball. Robbie Ray struck out 6 over 4 in the third. The Mariners beating Texas in Cactus League play 6-5 yesterday. J.P. Crawford, he went 2 for 3 with a run and an RBI. Mitch Haniger, also 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs. But it was Dylan Moore who got the offense started in the third.
Dylan with a deep punch. Out to left field, out of the berm, and Dylan Moore. A home run to start the bottom of the third. That puts the Mariners in front 1-0.
And for Dylan, most of the time you think of him with his speed, but he has tremendous power. That's a fastball that's just middle. He barreled it up, solid line drive on the home run. A pretty good catch.
Julio Rodriguez helped expand the lead with a extra base hit in the fifth.
There's something about Julio. There's an X factor with him. As he
right on point.
Hits this into the alleyway. Souza trots home. Toro pedals into third. He's held there by Manny. Julio to second. I mean, there's always a risk, right, when you have a player that young with that few of at-bats above Hyatt. But he has given you and Jerry and the rest of the front office and Scott Service and those guys in the dugout every reason to believe that this is obviously an elite player.
Mariners will host the Royals in Peoria at 1:10 today. Speaking of baseball, we got baseball right here on the NCW Live channel. The Wildcats and the Chiefs at Dan White Field, 4 o'clock today, first pitch. We'll have the game live on our Facebook page. We'll air it on TV tonight at 7 o'clock. Eric and Grant with the call. Be sure to check it out. Here's a look at the rest of the schedule today on the Diamond. Wenatchee visits Sunnyside at 3. Ephrata's at Natchez Valley at 4. The 4:30 games, these are all single games. Cashmere will host Zilla. Chelan is at Cascade. Quincy visits Omak. Brewster travels to Lake Roosevelt. Manson welcomes Pateros. On the softball diamond, Ephrata will host East Valley of Yakima doubleheader. That starts at 3. Quincy plays 2 at Omak. The first game starts at 3:30. Wenatchee will host Sunnyside at 4 in one game. Cashmere is at Cascade at 4:30. And Okanagan will host Liberty Bell. The early games on the pitch in boys soccer today. Moses Lake is at Davis. Bridgeport entertains Okanagan. They get going at 4. At 4:30, it's Manson at Tenasket, and Brewster will host Pateros. The late games under the lights, East Valley at Ephrata at 6. Quincy will host Toppenish, and Cascade will visit Cashmere. And then tonight at 7, Eastmont is at Sunnyside, and it is West Valley and Wenatchee at Lee Bopto Field at the Apple Bowl. And those are just some of the games that people are playing at 23 minutes after the hour. Happy National Ma and Pa Business Owners Day. Today, having owned a business for 5 years by myself, it ain't easy. It's a lot of work. You got to have a lot of passion in it. We always do this on March 29th for reasons I don't know. It's on the internet. The vast majority of small businesses in this country are owned by just one person. In fact, 70% of the small businesses in this country is a solo operation, be it a brick and mortar store or you work out of your home or whatever. 70% of all businesses is just one person. There are 28 million small businesses, by the way, in the United States, and of those small businesses, 52% are home-based businesses. I've always admired people who have a home office and can work out of home. I don't have that discipline. If I'm at a home, that means I'm at a place where I'm at, so I don't have to be anyplace else. To me, I have to go to work. Yeah, I don't know how they do it. I'm very, pretty impressive. 52%, by the way, home-based businesses are the small businesses. There you go. Happy National Ma and Pop Business Owners Day. The vast majority of businesses that I partake in and around the valley are mom and pop stores. Got to give them some love. 24 minutes after the hour, today in history, there's John Pemberton, Civil War veteran and the guy who invented Coca-Cola. It was on this date, March 29th, 1886, 135 years ago today, that John Pemberton brewed the very first batch of Coca-Cola in his backyard in Atlanta. He was a Civil War veteran. He was wounded. He became addicted to morphine, and he thought, I can't be doing this, so what can I do that makes you feel better but doesn't have morphine in it? So he came up with Coca-Cola. He claimed that Coca-Cola cured many diseases, including morphine addiction, indigestion, nerve disorders, headaches, and impotence. It doesn't. It's just a refreshing drink, but the very first batch of Coca-Cola was brewed on this date 135 years ago. Of course, he eventually sold the company. Probably wishes he hadn't have done that. Happy 61st birthday to the 23rd Amendment. It's hard to believe, but it wasn't until 1961 that if you lived in the District of Columbia, you could not vote for president. You couldn't. you had no federal representation at all, and you lived in the national capital. Well, that changed with the passage of the 23rd Amendment. The necessary 38 states voted yes, and that allowed residents of Washington, D.C. to vote in the presidential elections. The states in the Deep South were against it, but instead of voting against it, they simply didn't vote at all, realizing that they didn't need the support of the southern states to make this amendment happen, except Arkansas. Arkansas actually voted against it. The folks of Arkansas did not want the people in Washington, D.C. to vote in the presidential election. Why? We don't know. Anyway, March 29th, 1973, 49 years ago today, the last U.S. combat troops leave South Vietnam. That makes today Vietnam War Veterans Recognition Day. It is in honor of all the Vietnam veterans, the prisoners of war, those missing in action who never came home, and their families. It's been around for about 7-8 years now. The last United States combat forces leave South Vietnam. I can't stress that enough because, of course, we hung around a little bit until May of '75 when Saigon itself fell. And finally, 37 years ago today, March 29th, 1984, Robert Irsay, the owner of the Baltimore Colts, had been flirting. They tried to get a deal, the stadium built in Baltimore. Baltimore wouldn't pay for it. So he said, hey, hello Phoenix, hello Memphis, hello Jacksonville. You want a team? Finally, the mayor of Indianapolis said, come on over, Bob. And in the middle of the night, 15 Mayflower vans sent from Indiana packed up everything, and they were gone in about 7 hours in the middle of the night. And the folks in Baltimore woke up in the morning and said, what happened to our team? They're gone. The Baltimore Colts loaded everything into their Mayflower vans and simply moved to Indianapolis. They just said, we're out of here. They're gone. People in Baltimore are still upset about it. Baltimore it was a Colts town. I mean, yes, they had the Orioles who were very good, but Baltimore was a football town, and they loved their Colts, and they were not happy about that. They're still not. They got to get over it. It's been a while. Birthdays at 27 minutes after the hour. We always do presidents. John Tyler was the 10th president of the United States of America. He was born in 1790. He died in 1862 at the age of 71. John Tyler was the very first president to assume the presidency after the death of the president. He was William Henry Harrison's vice president. William Henry Harrison died a month after he was inaugurated. John Tyler got the gig, and now there was some kind of the interim president, the temporary president, John Tyler. The one good thing that he did, he said, no, I'm president. He moved into the White House, and he took over presidential responsibilities immediately, took the oath to assume full presidential power. So that little, what are we going to do when that happens, that was settled. And then after that, it was all downhill from there. John Tyler voted twice, vetoed 2 national banking bills, and it got his party, he was a member of the Whig Party. He vetoed two bills, and it got the members of his party so mad that they expelled him from the party. And he's the sitting president. His entire cabinet, except the Secretary of State, quit because they didn't like John Tyler's policies. He also became the first president to have his veto overridden by Congress. He was not a popular guy, but he did do this. This is stunning. John Tyler, born in 1790. That means George Washington was the president of the United States when John Tyler was born. He left the White House and the presidency in 1845, and he has a grandchild who is alive. How did this happen? Well, first of all, he fathered 15 kids. That helps the most of any president. He had his first wife. She died. He got remarried and had like 7 more kids with his second wife. He had his last child when he was 70 years old. The youngest of his children had his last child when he was 75 years old, which means Harrison Tyler, who is 93 years old and lives in a nursing facility, is John Tyler's grandson. John Tyler, born in 1790, has a living grandson. Wrap your head around that. Happy birthday to Denton True Cy Young. Cy was the nickname because he threw like a cyclone, who holds many, many pitching records. 3 of them will never be broken. Cy Young has 511 career wins, never will be broken. He pitched 7,356 innings. That record will never be broken. And he threw 749 complete games. That will never be broken. Cy Young, born in the state in 1867. The Cy Young Award, of course, is named after him. And Sam Walton was born 112 years ago today. Of course, the founder of Walmart and Sam's Club. Walmart, of course, is now the single largest corporation by revenue in the world, the largest private employer in the world. And from 1982 to 1988, Sam Walton was the richest man in the world, born in the state in 1918. And those were your birthdays. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and then we're going to replay my conversation with Jeremy Anders, the general manager at the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. They'll be racing in less than a month. We're going to What's Your Whistle? Take you up to the WVSO. Talk to Jeremy when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Morning, Sadie. Come on, Sadie.
Come on, Sadie needs more feed.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether,
we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
There are so many possibilities for you to learn local right here at Wenatchee Valley College. Take classes towards a degree or certificate in more than 50 areas of study. Wenatchee Valley College now offers a large variety of virtual classes, including labs, sign language, music, and machining, and they have the resources to help you succeed in virtual classes. So when a college degree is your goal, learn local at Wenatchee Valley College.
Are you frustrated because you feel like you aren't getting the internet speeds you pay for? One of the most common ways to test your internet connection is called a speed test. These are free and easily located on the internet and can tell you how fast your internet is. However, for certain reasons, these tests may not always be accurate. A speed test shows you how fast a file can be downloaded to the computer you're running the test on. However, there are many things that can affect the speed of that download besides the speed of the internet going into your home. A few of the things that can affect your internet speed are poor Wi-Fi signal, other wireless signals interfering with the wireless signals coming from your router, other devices in your home draining your bandwidth, your computer or phone running apps programs in the background that you aren't aware of, slowing your entire device. Any of these things can slow down your internet. Your internet is like water flowing down a pipe. There's a big pipe bringing internet to your local area, and a smaller pipe coming off of that bringing internet to your home address. Your router is just another pipe that brings the internet inside your house, and every device inside your home is like a pipe connected to the router. Just like with water, if any of those pipes along the way are too small for the amount of internet that needs to flow through for a family, the flow for everything down the line will be much slower. It's a lot like trying to push all the water going into your house through a small straw. Also, again, just like with water, if everyone in your home is using the internet at once, any individual device may not be able to receive the full flow of the internet. It's like your whole family trying to drink out of that small straw all at once. If you're struggling with internet that is slower than expected, make sure that all of the devices that your internet flows through are working correctly, and check all devices in your home for background programs that may be using the internet. If everything still appears to be working correctly, contact us and we'll be able to help.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody's entitled to my opinion. Now, recently on Facebook, a very conservative person took exception to my post that the Republicans simply had to face up to some things, like Trump lost the election, Hillary's never going to jail. You just got to realize that's what's going to happen. Now, this person evidently took exception to this, and they posted, Mike, I've lost all respect for you. And then, on another day, a very liberal social justice warrior friend took me to task for not confronting what that person perceived as the bigotry and prejudice I tolerate on the posts of other people. So I have both liberals and conservatives kicking my butt and getting on me about one thing or another. To me, this just goes to show that I must be doing something right. Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around north central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special.
Are you a take charge kind of person? Consider a career as a health unit coordinator. You'll work to keep health facilities running efficiently by coordinating medical providers, patients, and departments. The Charter College Certificate in Health Unit Coordinator program can get you up to speed on basic patient care, health records management, health and safety procedures, and medical billing. And the 10-month online program includes a computer you keep. Get started at chartercollege.edu, where we work to get you to work.
Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere is your place for famous blues, brews, and barbecue. We are your one-stop bar and grill, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner 7 days a week. Hi, Justin here, owner of Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere. Looking for a fun night out? Join us at Club Crow. We have live bands to rock the night away, comedy to make you laugh, and if that's not enough, we have poker every Monday and Wednesday night. Club Crow in Cashmere has it all. Check out our Facebook event page for dates and times. Club Crow Bar and Grill in Cashmere, the coolest place in town.
Watch Vibrant Living, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center. Find out about programs and activities for ages 50 and over, and meet amazing seniors who contribute to our community. New episodes Sundays at 1:30 p.m., replayed throughout the week on the NCW Life channel. Get your body moving. Tune in for Vibrant Motion, featuring low-impact aerobics hosted by Connie Townsend. These workouts are great for all ages. Vibrant Motion, brought to you by the Wenatchee Valley Senior Activity Center, weekdays on the NCW Life channel.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Different birds enjoy different types of foods, so it's important to offer all the right things for the birds you want to attract. Sound complicated? It doesn't have to be. Our Flying Start Combo is an all-in-one feeder that attracts all the birds in your backyard, with seed, suet, nuts, and fruit. Stop by our store to find out how you can get started feeding the birds. Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. It's time to drive fast and turn left. Well, not quite. We're there in April, but we wanted to whet your appetite a little bit, and the man to do that, the guy landed his dream job a couple of years ago, and he's doing great guns. It's hard work, but he is now the picture of the Wenatchee Valley Super Oval. He's our old friend and a longtime contributor to this program, Jeremy Anders. They love you. Listen to
them. I know, like the applause.
Listen
this
to the
live
crowd.
Studio audience is amazing. I just can't thank them for all their support.
How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. You know, we're the winter time is kind of flushing away. The weather's been amazing lately, and just kind of, you know, I always say every springtime in the air, you know, it's just kind of, you know, you hear the birds chirping, and you hear like the skies are, you know, turning blue, and then all of a sudden that one Saturday night comes up and thunder hits the valley, and we got racing back in the Wenatchee Valley.
What happens from September? The Jerry Burschauer Memorial, it was the last race of the year, I think.
Newberry.
Yeah, the Newberry. I'm sorry, the Newberry. And then, of course, we televise that. And then, is that it? You mean you clean up the track and lock her up and walk away? What happens?
Pretty much, yeah. We've had a great partnership with the Gun Club, the Interior Gun Club, 52 years or so. So we get about 6 or 7 days to do cleanup around the track, kind of winterize things up, get things all good to go. And, you know, it's a facility that's then kind of, you know, after, I think like last time I was in there about the first week of November or so, we lock it down, and then we don't get back in there. Our first day fully back in there is March 29th, and we get about 6 or 7 days to get everything kind of open back up, get projects done. We got a huge list of projects we're trying to do, and, you know, of course, things always change based on how things are going or whatever, and so we have 3 or 4 what I call major projects we're going to do this year that'll hopefully people will notice when they get back there. And, yeah, and then we open up our first practice sessions on April 9th. So cars at the track on April 9th, and then our first race is April 16th.
And we'll talk more about that in detail as we're going to roll footage of last year's Bump to Pass, which was phenomenal. I'd never been to Bump to Pass before, and we got footage of it, and we roll that footage, Jeremy. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Racers just don't go to their local Chevron and buy gas. They have to buy the special petrol, and they buy it at the track. With gas prices the way they are now for the average Joe consumer, is this a concern for your racers come spring? Because it's special fuel, it's more expensive fuel. How does what's going on with the gas pumps for Joe Sixpack affect the racers at the WVSO?
Well, a lot of classes, and by the way, we're watching Roadrunners, not Bump to Pass right now, but I think there's some.
It's coming up.
It's coming up here. But a lot of classes, like the Roadrunners, they race just regular fuel. I mean, there's about 3 or 4 of our classes that race either just regular, you know, fuel or some non-ethanol fuel or something like that, or maybe some are more on premium, whatever. A few of ours run like Trick 110. That's the racing fuel they run. Which we've seen some increases of it right now. It's not gone up as much as the full fuel has, I guess you'd say regular fuel has. It's probably going to affect it. One of the biggest increases we're seeing from last year with everything and kind of inflation's happened is tires. Race tires have gone up almost $35 a tire, which when you're talking a set, you're going up almost $140 a set. That really is a big thing. So we're trying to help out this year by we are doing a tire management program to kind of because I'll tell the racers this and they know this themselves. Sometimes they're their worst enemy, and by spending money they overspend or whatever. So it's our way of kind of say, hey, you don't need to spend all this money. We're going to try to keep you. The nice thing that we have at Wenatchee that we're lucky that I can say other tracks in Northwest sometimes don't have is we have one of the best racing surfaces here. I mean, you can tell it there. It's a very smooth surface. It's very good to tires. I mean, you could use these tires for like the B mods. They could race on the same set of tires, all 4 tires, probably 3 or 4 times. You see them right there. It's a grooved 970 tire there, and it doesn't pick up a whole lot of rubber. It's actually a rubberized asphalt surface. You may go to some of the other tracks in the Northwest, and you may need to buy a new set of tires after every single race. So we're going to try to do our best to kind of keep that under control management-wise. Our hope, though, is, I mean, I think that we've seen this before in the racing industry where fuel prices have come up, whatever. I think it might, our bigger specialty races, we'll probably see a lot of traveling guys for those. I don't know if we'll see as many traveling guys come in for some of our smaller events. That's kind of one of our things we've been looking at is I think some of our smaller events you might not see, guys traveling in like, oh, I have this off week, I'm going to go race at Wenatchee. But I'm hoping that the fuel comes back down. We should be good to go. So we're excited about it.
Do the protocols were for years, and I'm assuming it's still the case, that all of the local track managers and owners all get together in Portland, I think, for a weekend and hash out a schedule. So everybody, you can't race every Saturday night at your track, even though you want to. Is that the same deal? So everybody is lined up and ready to go for the circuit, if you will?
So that's usually what happens. I had this big event happen for my life in the middle of November this year, so I didn't get to go. I actually, though, Michelle and Garrett are my partners. They went down to it, but I kind of sent them down with like, okay, this is my turnkey schedule. This is what I want. This is what we got, whatever. And it worked out really well. And we got everything we did. There was a little bit of stuff that we did after the WRPA, and there was a couple of events that we picked up from WRPA, stuff like that. But we all try to make sure we don't schedule on top of each other. I think this year we're really good in the Northwest. We don't have too many big, scheduling conflicts. Our schedule changed up a little bit from we have years before. We're opening up with Bump to Pass this year, but it also matters. Sometimes you got to base on sometimes you have 5 weekends in 1 month that throws the dates off. Like this year, Apple Blossom is the main weekend is the same weekend as Mother's Day. Mother's Day is the one weekend we can never race at the Gun Club because they always have a really cool the junior state tournament up there, and so that's a weekend we're blacked off. So usually we kind of sometimes race those weekends. So things like that, they just tweak their schedule. But I think this promoters in the Northwest are probably the best they've been in years about working with each other. We have the Tri-State Challenge Series, which is cool because it goes between 4 different tracks between Wenatchee, State Line, Tri-Cities, and Hermiston. And we're actually partnering together to bring multiple different classes racing for bigger purses, and then we have championships at the end. And the same rules package, or really close to the same rules package, at all the tracks. So a driver can build his car one time, and then they can go and make the few changes they need to that car, or no changes at all, maybe just change like the gears on the car, and then go race the next weekend without having to make these huge changes. Before, you'd have a 20-set page of rules for Wenatchee, 20-set page of rules for all these different tracks, but then you'd have to go change every single weekend race there. So now our goal is to try to get as many tracks in the same rules package so you don't have to change it very often.
What's the word out of the Tri-Cities? Is it going to be a go? I know they're thinking about getting her going again. I know Garrett went down and tried it out.
So they did, actually. They got the track reopened back in October 1st. They moved the Fall Classic from Yakima Speedway to Tri-Cities. It was a sold-out 2-day show crowd, a huge car count, one of the biggest economic boosters for the city of West Richmond in a long time. It was crazy. They redid a bunch of stuff. The Walden family, the Brown family, everybody in the Red Mountain Event Center. They're turning into an event center. They're racing like 4 or 5 times a year there this year. They'll start off with the Apple Cup, so they're moving the Apple Cup from Yakima Speedway. So it's really been a sad couple of weeks because Tri-Cities is doing some improvements for the Apple Cup to get ready, and then just a couple of days ago, they started the full demolition of Yakima Speedway with bulldozers and stuff like that. And it's one thing when the track closes, but when you start seeing the big equipment come and stuff like that, it just kind of hits you hard. And we officially, a couple weeks ago, heard that Ephrata Raceway sold to the county of Grant County, so that's going to be a new gel. So those things are tough because, you kind of hold a little bit of hope that there's something could happen, or something like Tri-Cities, which was closed for 17 years. But the facility never changed. The track was always there. But when you start bringing in equipment to tear out the asphalt and tear like things out, your hope kind of dwindles. And there's still some rumblings of possibly reopening Spokane Raceway. I know that the tribe, the casino tribe,
that owns the property.
That owns the property, just bought it. They're opening the road course up for some events starting back up, and they're opening the drag strip. I think the road course and drag strip are kind of first priorities, and then possibly the oval track will be next. So it's great when we see those tracks open back up. We don't see it very often, and we've seen 3 or 4 across the country open back up after being closed for a while, but we've seen more close more recently. So it's a tough thing for industry, but lucky enough, we're going strong. 52 years now. It's a beautiful facility there.
That's gorgeous.
I mean, if you look at I should have brought a picture that we had from 1970 when we first opened on May 1st. And there was not any houses up there, but now those houses are up there. But, I will say the neighbors, our neighbors on Fancher Heights have been great to work with. I feel like I've been pretty good about communicating with them, like when we have things coming up and letting them know. And we've had, Fancher Heights neighbors nights like that. And one of my favorite things is like on a Friday night practice. And it started out, we were living there for a little bit, so my kids would do it. But, you'll get the neighbor kids riding in on a Friday night practice. It's free. And they'll ride their bikes and down the track, and then they'll be up top there watching race practice for a little bit and then going back, whatever. So it's your neighborhood racetrack, you like to say. And we try to do a good job of, taking care of our neighbors up there.
And you keep very good care of the track.
Yeah,
it's regularly repaved, and you're fixing things up, and it's always painting stuff. It always looks fresh and new. In fact, let's go ahead.
Well, I like to say, the one thing we have at Wenatchee that you probably don't find around the country is we have one of the most scenic backdrops. That's why I love the April race, because the April race, you always still have the snow-capped mountains in the background, and you're not going to find very many tracks. There's a track in Alaska that sits right below one of the big mountains there, and there's some great tracks in Montana like that. But I feel like us and a few of those tracks have probably some of the most scenic backdrops you'll find anywhere in the country.
Well, let's talk April. Let's talk opening night. Let's wet the whistle. You ready to go? Let's fire it up, buddy.
April 16th, right there. We're opening up a huge night. We're going to open up with Bump to Pass, which is usually one of our biggest shows of the year. We have the B mods, which the Rockstar B mods are back this year, and that class has exploded. We're up to almost 17, 18 cars. I think we're going to be close to 20 at some points this year. In that class, you have some big names, heavy hitters coming in that class, which is going to be fun to watch. That was exciting last year, but now the class has been growing up. You have the Roadrunners on that night, and then we're bringing back fireworks. We've had fireworks for a while, like that, so we have a great fireworks show. And it's part of our Save Our Race Cars campaign. We're going to partner with SEMA, PRI, and then Jared Sussler for Congress. So it's a great campaign, and it's kind of a big thing happening right now in our industry. Save Our Race Cars. You can go on our website, wvso.com. There's some links on there.
It's a little too convoluted to discuss on this show right now, but basically there is legislation out there that could very well affect what you do for a living. So that's about as basic as I can put it.
Yeah.
But it's again, it's convoluted. Your website has the information.
Yeah, there's a couple stories on there that links back to the full stories on about that. So hopefully that's going to come down anytime soon. I think it's just a kind of overall bring awareness to campaigns like that and the motorsports industry. And SEMA and PRI, I've never heard of those are probably two of the SEMA show in Las Vegas is probably one of the biggest trade shows they do in all of Vegas for motorsports industry. And then PRI, Performance Raced Industry, they are just great for motorsports altogether year round. And then they host actually one of the biggest motorsports racing trade shows at the Indiana Convention Center. So we're excited to have both of them on board. We're going to have some of them in town. We're going to do a kickoff party on Friday night at Hot Rod Cafe, the 15th beforehand. We're going to get all giveaways, and the Hot Rod Cafe is kind of a perfect transition there with race cars, all of which the race cars on display, and then we're going to race on April 16th.
Can we come? Can we be there?
Oh, yeah, you can be there.
Good.
And by the way, you guys are broadcasting the first race live on ncblife.com. So
there you go.
We've had a great partnership with you guys. I think we're doing 4 races this next year, so we're excited about that, and gives people a chance to watch locally. But you can attest to this. There is nothing better than the action of the race car, especially Bump to Pass. Because Bump to Pass, there is so much stuff going on in the track.
It's crazy.
You need to have like 6 cameras going in because there's so much stuff going on there. Plus, you get the smell of the rubber, the smell of the fuel, and then you get to feel the vibrations, whatever, and then you get a taste of great beer. I mean, there's nothing better than all that great stuff there, or maybe a nice cold Pepsi.
I had never done Bump to Pass until last year, and the first thing you notice 2 laps into the race, you have no idea who's in the lead. It's that much fun. One more little thing with Jeremy before we cut him loose. Season tickets, can't purchase that. It's a great deal. It's a great deal, season tickets. And I'm not saying that from just to promote Jeremy. It is a good deal. I don't know how your bookkeeper lets you do it, but go ahead.
Usually she gets mad at me. So, and we start with a really good special that we do over Christmas time, and then we kind of go up there. And right now they're at $169, so there's 16 races total, which is almost $10 a race, which is a really, really good deal. I mean, if you go to 10 races of the 16, it pays for itself right there. Actually, I think if you go to 8 races, it pays for itself. So, it's a great deal. We still have them available right now. You go to Leonard Evans in Wenatchee. You can pick them up there at the office from the ladies there. They have them. You can call the track phone there, or you can email us and do them. We don't sell them online anymore. Just kind of, I did it about a month ago or so. So we still have them. We've sold a lot this year. We've noticed the last couple of years our season passes have increased up. And then tickets are available for the first race, April 16th, online right now, at wvso.com.
Jeremy, it's always good to see you. We're looking forward to it for another exciting, and it's so great to have the people back. Oh, one more thing. On a personal note, talked to my sister BJ a couple days ago, and your name came up.
Yes.
And I did, and she never cared for you. I was surprised.
I know.
She goes, I never much liked Jeremy.
I think that her future went on a little better because, when I was her TA in high school, she got attached to bowling, and I think I kind of helped her guide along the way there. And we're still working each other on this. Now I'm the coach of Wenatchee, which is kind of it's great. And
and she's the state supervisor for bowling. Yeah.
So whenever she has bowling questions, she still calls me to this day. So yeah.
We love this guy, Jeremy, and we're looking forward to seeing you Friday night, the 15th, at out there at Monitor, and then, of course, racing on the 16th. And we'll see you before then. We'll have another visit.
Oh, yeah, we're gonna hopefully, guys, can come to the track and see some of the upgrades we're doing.
Absolutely. Love to do it. Jeremy Anders, General Manager of Wenatchee Valley's Super Oval. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Sports was kind of what defined me as a person. I loved to compete. I loved to play every sport I could possibly play. I think I played 8 when I was a kid. The Abbeys was really the family stomping ground for all of our community. We grew together as a community. We grew together as teams. When I drive by there, I have dozens of memories that go through my head. Abbeys isn't just a pizza parlor. Abbeys was home.
Hi, I'm Chuck Dronan, Managing Member at Eplodolin Retirement and Assisted Living. It's been a tough year for all of us, but especially for those working and living in senior care facilities. Over the course of these many difficult months, our staff at Eplodolin has been vigilant in adhering to federal and state guidelines to protect and assure the safety of our residents and their caregivers. If you're in need of assisted living for a loved one, give us a call at Eplodolin. We're here for you.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station. We provide the latest news from around North Central Washington weeknights at 5, 6, and 10 o'clock with Grant Olson. If it's happening in your neighborhood, we have you covered with a staff of reporters who are always on call. Grant will also keep you up to date on the latest weather, and Eric Grandstrom covers sports. It's all on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
I felt so alone, like I had no one to help me.
I felt like I could never control my anger. Why am I so angry?
I was stuck in a cycle of addiction. I felt like I had no way out.
Are you hurting? You are not alone. It's time for God to do what no man can do. Come join us for Redemption Recovery at Sage Hills Church, Thursdays at 6 p.m.
Still at 43 degrees. That's where we started at here about an hour ago, but we're in for a beautiful day today. And then the winds come on Wednesday, especially Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night. There is a cold front. It's going to work its way into western Washington early Wednesday morning and across the Cascades in the middle of the day. And by late in the afternoon tomorrow, it's going to be windy. It's going to be cooler as well. It is a cold front, and it's going to take our temperatures, which have been well above normal, and it's going to drop them lower than a gopher's basement on Wednesday, and especially Thursday as this cold air comes down and then settles in over the Wenatchee Valley. So get ready for very windy conditions in many locations Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday night before we calm down on Thursday. From the National Weather Service, gobs of gooey good sunshine, close to 70 today. Hit 68 yesterday, but we also had a few more high clouds. We're not expecting any clouds at all today, and very little wind. 42 for the overnight low tonight. Here comes that cold front on Wednesday. It's going to be pleasant most of the day today. The winds will be picking up in intensity in the afternoon and then in the early evening hours. Very windy conditions, and you can see very chilly too. We're going to go back down to where we should be this time of the year with the mid-50s with lots of sunshine come Thursday, then a gradual warming trend for the weekend. That's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.